Qui varias peccata mundi, dona, dona.
We have here young boys and young girls, and they were here like you, maybe naughtier than you. They have also similar stories to share, and first of all, these are the diamond jubilee areas. This means they are coming after 60 years. I mean, they would have come, but they passed out 60 years back. Where were you 60 years back? God was still planning. What question whether to create them or not. Even I was not born. Okay? So 60 years back, they passed out of 7. And to come to this school, they have made plans at least 2 years or 3 years back. They have been discussed. Am I right, sir? Yes. They would have been discussed. It's not easy to bring all of them here, as far as I was aware. They always try to impress them. I think same as your time. So, you can pull the chairs in front. So, this is a very informal gathering, and they had planned almost 2-3 years back. Few batches couldn't come because of the lockdown and because of the COVID. We did have few groups coming earlier, and our boys enjoyed listening to them. Even though now they look quite old, even though they are not old, around 70, 75, their stories will be the same, similar. What are the stories? One would be when they go to St. Mary's, they will prepare for a week. Even our boys do the same thing. Other days when they have a shower, we used to have twice a week baths. Now we are a little better, we have thrice a week here. But after the bath, they again they're on the field. They'll be dirty and messy. But the day they have to go to All Saints or Sherwood, they prepare for a week.
Right.
They'll be buying the hair gel, the perfume, the powder, shoes will be polished. Otherwise, like any other boy, dirty and filthy. Am I right? Yes. So they are looking forward to hearing you. So therefore, I will not speak on behalf of the brothers. Our headmistress, we have a headmistress. It would be nice to have some young ladies in the boys' school. And Brother Jerome there. And on behalf of the staff and students, we welcome you. Okay, now, okay, we will begin with the prayer song. Person who was interacting with me, sending messages, planning. So I'm sure he will introduce or they will introduce themselves and the young ladies. Okay. Don't you find them very pretty? Yes. What? They want to know? No, okay. And one boy came to me and today and said, "Man hugged me." Yeah, and he was thrilled. So I said, they have daughters, they're looking for son-in-law. Okay, over to you, sir.
You know, it's been 60 years. This is an extended phase now. Used to be in a very smaller hall. But I see it's quite full. That's wonderful. Now we have a general here, we have a major general here, we have a brigadier here, we have a chairman of a company here, and we have a retired vice president from the hospitality industry. So they're going to be sharing with you what happened after or whatever they learned here and how it took them further. Alright? So I'm Ashok Daga. I was police captain in 1963. I have two of my captains here. Nainital Shah, General, Captain of St. Paul's House, Red House. I have Ravindra Banerjee, St. Peter's, the Blue House. I was of course captain of the Green House, St. Patrick's. Along the way, the Yellow House captain, Mickey Kocher, he's no more with us. In fact, we've lost 8 of our classmates out of 35. And well, most of us still feel the young 15, 16 years we used to be. So you'll get to know them. The ladies, well, you want me to introduce all the ladies or should I? Yeah? I'll start to the left. Mrs. Shamla Daga, my better half. I'll let the gents introduce themselves. Mrs. Dipti Kocher, Dipti Sahai. Mrs. Madhu Sapu. Mrs. Ruby Banerjee. And Mrs. Sheila Shah. Very much. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. This Parveen Malankar, we have short interaction with you. They want to tell you something. I'll start with General Shah. He can start talking. Yeah.
Good afternoon, boys. The first time I acted on the stage, I was in a play called I Was Old King Cole. In a play where it was in class standard 2. And I'm really delighted. I left SEM in 1963, went to the National Defence Academy, and what SEM taught me, I was a very tough young lad because I made use of all the games fields. I made use of the gymnasium. I studied very little because I played most of the time. And let me tell you that in school, the teachers punished us whenever we were naughty. It was not a scolding. It was either use of a leather strap or one got caned. And there was a system called public flogging, where for major misdemeanors, a student got 6 of the best in front of the whole school in the study hall. It was a ceremony called public flogging. Let me tell you that the punishment had no ill effect on me at all. In fact, I became pretty thick-skinned. And since I played here, I played in the army, and I rose to become a 3-star general because of what SEM taught me. I was wondering what to tell you all. letter written by President Abraham Lincoln. You know him? He was the American president during the American Civil War. So when his son went to school, President Lincoln wrote the following letter. My son starts school today. It is all going to be strange and new to him for a while. And I wish you would treat him gently. I wish he had written to my teachers also. It is an adventure. It certainly was for me and my classmates. That might take him across continents. Because of what I imbibed in school, I've been everywhere around the world. All the continents except probably Australia. All adventures that probably include wars. I fought in the 1971 war at Longewala. You've seen this movie Border? Tragedy and sorrows. I've had my share. But I would say that those have been really not very consequential. I just kept them aside. To live this life will require faith, love and courage. So, dear teacher, will you please take him by the hand? And I'm sure I've seen the principal doing that this morning. I was delighted to see the way he was handling the students who came flocking to him. Teaching him, but gently, if you can. Teach him that for every enemy, there's a friend. He will have to know that all men are not just, but that all large number of men are true. Teach him also that for every scoundrel, there's a hero. You'll find that in life later. That for every crooked politician, there's a dedicated leader. Teach him that if he can count 10 cents is what we had 10 naya paisa in those days. 10 cents earned is far more than the value of a dollar. A dollar is 80 or 90 rupees. In school, teacher, it is far more honorable to fail than to cheat. So remember that, boy. It is better to fail than use unfair means in school. Teach him to learn how to gracefully lose. We lost a lot of matches here. The school captain Ashok Daga will tell you more about that. And most of all, enjoy winning when you do win, but win by fair means. Teach him to be gentle with people, tough with tough people. Different people need different sort of treatment. Steer him away from envy. Don't envy anybody if you can, and teach him the secret of quiet laughter. A happy man, a person who sings, is a happy person. Remember, the power of singing. I always in the army judged if my troops sang, I realized their heart was in the right place. So singing is a barometer of a person's soul. Remember that. Teach him that there can be glory in failure and despair in success. Teach him to scoff at cynics, that the people who criticize you, don't worry about them. Teach him that if you can, the wonder of books. I'm going to speak a little more on that. But also give him time to ponder the extreme mystery of birds in the sky. Do you go to we used to call it the government house, Raj Bhavan? You can see the birds in the skies, bees in the sun, and flowers on a green hill. Teach him to have faith in his own ideas, even if everyone tells him that he is wrong. So this is a portion of the letter Abraham Lincoln wrote to his son's teacher. Now, boys and girls, I inculcated the habit of reading when I was in school. I was constantly in the library. I was reading widely. I started off with Enid Blyton when I was in class 3 and carried on, read Billy Bunter and then read about Biggles and read about the mystery of the famous five, and then we graduated on to Reader's Digest and Time magazine and Life magazine. Remember, a lot of people will tell you to read widely. That's not enough. I would recommend you read smart. That you should know what to read. You must, if you don't like a book, give it up. If it doesn't appeal to you, leave it. You don't have to pursue a book you don't read, you don't like. So read smart. Also, you know, in our time we had a period called a library period. Every Wednesday evening was, you didn't do your homework, we got no homework on Wednesdays. We had to read our library books. And God help anybody who didn't have a library book and a dictionary along with that. Because the principal insisted that when reading a library book, you must learn the meaning of every word you read. So read smart. Read at the best time that appeals to you. I do my best reading early in the morning. If you like to read at night, which we read in school when we got into bed, we were allowed half an hour reading. So read smart and take down notes. You will never be unprepared for anything. Also, Brother Morrissey, our teacher, used to tell us some books are to be read, others to be, what was it? Some books are to be read, some to be swallowed, and some to be chewed and digested. So when you read a book and you want to read smart, chew and digest that book. I have a lot of friends who are going to tell you other stories, but I wish you happiness. Enjoy these wonderful years. Later on in life you will say, these were the happiest years of your life. And lastly, if you are looking for a career, join the army. You will see the world. God bless you.
4 of you studied here. Your brothers also studied here.
Yes.
Three. One of them, you know, Nasiruddin Shah, the film actor. He came recently. He is Nasiruddin Shah's elder brother. Am I right? Eldest?
He's younger. He looks older.
He looks older. Okay. He was there that day and recited a poem. So 3 of them studied here. Over to you, sir.
Okay, you just heard General Shah speaking. Next to him is Larry Malarkar. Larry, want to speak? Yeah? Okay. Larry is an engineer.
That's right. I'll introduce myself. After school, I didn't do my IIT. I took 6 years over a 5-year course. I realized halfway through didn't want to be an engineer. The problem, of course, that I did well at school. Automatically went to IIT, had to change by going to IIM Business Management, and ultimately landed up with Oberoi Hotels and spent the next 40 years of my life in hospitality and tourism. So I have a fairly wide sort of scope of experience. I was lucky enough to travel, work on 4 continents, and travel around the world. And unlike Zoom or like Zoom or something, a lot of the lessons I learned were not inside the classroom. So what I just wanted to touch upon very briefly was things that I learned, things that we all learned along the way. And lessons that you will pick up hopefully. So I'll start from first thing is, be gentle in your expectations. Don't expect the world, either of yourself or of others. The more you expect, the more you're going to be frustrated, disappointed, upset and everything else. Don't expect very much from life. I think Bill Gates said this very clearly. He says, life owes you nothing. You have to earn what you're going to do. And life is not always going to be fair. Life is basically unfair. So be as fair as you can when you go out there, but don't expect too much. The other thing I think which will help you along the way is, you cannot change the past. Whatever's happened has happened. There's no point saying, I wish I had done that, I wish I had avoided this or the other. Happened has happened. What you will regret, however, are the things that you did not do. So if you had a thought in your mind that really looked at you or interested you, go out and do it. It's like Nike says, just do it. Okay? You will regret things that you do not do. Learn from failures, and we all fail. We all fail sometimes here. But also learn from your successes. I think a lot of us did not question our successes so much as we questioned our failures. So have a look at what made you successful, what made you win at a certain game, or put you in the favor of a particular girl, or whatever it was. Think of the successes and learn from those also. And like I said, you can't change the past, so accept the past. Okay? You can't do anything on your own. We live in a world where we are totally interdependent on each other. Learn and love teamwork, because it's going to help you all the way through. Learn to carry others with you, and more importantly, also learn to follow. For every one leader, you're going to have 10 followers. And if you want to succeed in the team, the leader will fail if you don't follow him. If there's nobody follows the leader, then nothing happens. So learn how to follow also is very important. To learn how to follow, you've got to be open to other viewpoints. It's a very difficult thing to do. But listen to others. You can't change reality, but you can change your viewpoint on reality. The other thing that we also learned, most of us did, is invest in the future. Zoom has discovered, saying, invest intellectually, keep learning through life, read a lot, look at things that even sometimes don't interest you, but certainly a thing that interests you, go deeper into it. So intellectually keep learning, emotionally invest in your family and friends, spend time. That's the one thing you end up with life. Family and friends are the only thing that are still yours. And physically invest in your health and invest in your wealth. Now, saying invest in health, I mean that comes naturally until you're about 40 years old, I think, or very active. After that, I think you need to thoughtfully invest in your health. Invest in your wealth. I think a lot of us would have been happier if we had started saving systematically a little earlier in life. We would have been a little happier, maybe not, maybe yes, but I think that's one point I give to you. While you're investing in your intellect, your emotion, and your own physical being, people work balance. You keep hearing this all the time. And one thing that, the one quotation that I love is, it says, no one on their deathbed has ever said, I wish I'd spent one more hour in the office. This doesn't happen. So, spend time on things that you enjoy and where people enjoy you. Respect authority. A lot of us are sort of think that we have to rebel against everything. And while you guys can be revolting people, respect authority. And that starts with your parents, elders, and when you go out into the market, you'll find that you have a boss. And you have to respect your boss. Now, the natural tendency is to think that you know more than the boss. But there's a reason he's a boss. Because he obviously knows more than you. And what happens is over time, you also build a certain amount of experience which you don't have when you're young. Lastly, you live with yourself. End of the day, you live with yourself. So you have to respect yourself. Follow the golden rule. I think it still applies to everything. Treat others like you'd like them to treat you. And which basically boils down to be compassionate, have empathy, be kind, and treat everybody as equals. And give back to society as far as much as you can. Unlike what General Shah told you, these are the best years of your life. The best years of your life are the future. They're yet to come. We are all of us sitting here have had many, many good years after our school years. Okay? So look forward to the future. It's full of fun. But you don't say be happy.
Before I get the next person to speak, how many of you have heard of Antarctica? All of you, very good. Do you know if India has a research station in Antarctica? How many research stations does India have in Antarctica? India has 3 research stations in Antarctica. One is a supply station and 2 are full-time research stations. How many countries have got full-time research stations in Antarctica? How many countries? There are only 9 countries in the world who've got full-time research stations in Antarctica. Why am I talking of Antarctica? You'll be surprised. Way back in 1990, when the second research station was being set up, there were 2 men from SEM who were responsible for setting up that station in Antarctica. One of them, Major Bhatia. The other one, Ashok Nagar. These research stations are doing very good work. And why are they there? You have these army people sitting here. A lot of research is related to what the army requirements are. One of the requirements that existed in those days, you know, up in the Siachen and other glacier areas, mules were being used to carry equipment, carry supplies. And these mules have to be fed. You need grass. Where did the grass come from? Grass used to be airlifted from Agra. So they wanted greenhouses to be set up in the Siachen area to supply, to grow grass. These were finally called grass growing machines. Sorry for the interruption. The first greenhouse that ever worked in the Indian research station was what I did. and they wanted 11 more. Well, that later on we can. I'll come back with more stories later. Who's coming? Are you coming? Brigadier Sam? Yes, Brigadier Chapru.
I was a bit lazy that time. But SEM changed things. Firstly, let me thank the students of SEM and the choir for giving us such a warm welcome as we entered. Thank you once again. Brother Petro, Headmistress Madam Raza, the staff, students, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. There are two periods in my life which I thoroughly enjoyed, I savored, and I always will cherish. In fact, I do get emotional and sentimental when I talk of them. First was when I was in SEM, those years that I spent over here from 60 to 63. And the second was the time I spent with and later on commanding my battalion in the army. They remain the golden years of my life. Now, I do not want to talk on a structured or a formatted talk. What I'm talking will only be random thoughts which came to my mind on character qualities and on values which flow out of them. Personally, I value values. And I take heart from these, and thus, this is my call to all the young hearts sitting behind. We all are from middle class families and backgrounds. And values which we have inherited and absorbed are from our elders, from our parents, from our friends, teachers and peers. And these values or qualities are four which I think are most important, which not only for me but for each and every one of you. Namely, integrity, honesty, loyalty and self-respect. If you believe in these four qualities, you will never falter, you will never go wrong, you will always be looked up by each and everyone around you. At SEM, I imbibe values which helped me and my classmates in good stead for the last 60 years. And they are respect for our teachers and seniors. Secondly, respect for school rules and school property. Third and foremost, respect for all religious beliefs. Respect for all religious beliefs, which lead to greater camaraderie, team spirit, and bonding. Fourth is emphasis on moral values. To be able to instill and to differentiate between the right and the wrong. A ban on profanities in public life. You find it very common these days. A lot of kids down in the bazaar or elsewhere around you using all foul language. At this stage, you just forget about it. Personal discipline and punctuality. And last, starting the day on a positive note, which gives you a sense of achievement. To quote example, I think someone mentioned it, Admiral McRaven, who was commander of the Special Forces in the US, believed that even if you started the day by making your own bed, it was a sense of achievement, and therefore the day progressed in a much better fashion. Just a word on integrity, honesty and loyalty, which I mentioned earlier. They are basic things, but we tend to overlook them. Integrity is a quality on which there can be no compromise. quality which has to be absolutely chaste, and you cannot recover if you do lose it. Therefore, integrity implies being upright, being impartial, being fair in all your dealings, and be honest in thought, word, and deed. Loyalty. Be faithful to the flag, to the country, to the organization, to the school, and to all your beliefs. In loyalty also you must learn that you should be able to take kudos and bring back alive. This is one thing in the services that we always do, that we always give credit to our juniors because it is on their pillars that we are where we are. I believe in that. Self-respect. We must ensure an honest way of life. Any negative action or trying to gain undue physical or monetary advantage will lead to a loss of individual self-respect. Now this may be a sort of a moral lecture, but there are points which I deeply value and I thought I'll pass on to you. Coming to a different phase. Someone said, "Oh Captain, my Captain." Does anyone remember where this phase occurred or where this phrase occurred? This is by a poem by Walt Whitman on Abraham Lincoln. And this figures in a movie which most of you may have seen called The Dead Poets Society. Those of you who have not seen it, I heartily recommend the boss and the principal to have it screened for our boys and girls over here. The main theme of this movie is, which once you see, you will realize what it means. The class teacher of these kids, of these children, tries to inculcate in them individuality, the requirement of thinking out of the box, thinking individually, thinking independently, with all their convictions, and for what things they value in life. And he said, you never should compromise on your principles. So therefore, this is one thing that I suggest that you must see to gain value from what life will give you further. And finally, I am tempted to recommend and read a short poem by William Henley titled Invictus. Invictus, meaning unconquered. This poem exemplifies willpower and strength in adversity. It's a motivating quality which we pay handsomely, which will pay handsomely to us in later in life. Henry engages this theme just to gain inner strength and perseverance. I'll just read 2 stanzas from this particular poem. Sorry, 3. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquering soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. My head is bloody but unbowed. Finally, the crux and the heart of this poem. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I think these last 2 lines covers everything which all of us should imbibe, imbue, and should ensure that we lead a good life in the future. Just to end, someone said the temptation to give advice like I'm giving is irresistible. But the quality to ignore is totally universal. So all I can say, go forth, be young men and be men of worth. Thank you and good luck to you in all your future endeavors. Thanks.
The Antarctica story didn't end with just two from STEM involved in the Antarctica research station. There was a third person. And do you know who the third person was? That man was heading the German expedition, Victor Smetacek. Senior to me, but from STEM, 10 years in STEM. So STEM has a record in Antarctica. Three of us were responsible for research stations in Antarctica. No, I would like to have Arun, would you like to speak? Yeah.
Hector Pinto, Jerome, Razan, staff and students, student friends here. You know, 60 years is a long time, I must say that. And we have therefore been through it. We've seen the suffer of change. There has been this famous quote, change is the only constant. It will always happen. And it takes me back. I graduated from IIT Kharagpur in 1969. And 65, see, we finished here 64, 69. We used to do complex engineering calculations with a slide rule. Today the students don't even know what a slide rule is. So that's the change. It's surprising to see, go to the IITs today, they haven't heard of this slide rule. That was the holy Bible for us. We couldn't do our engineering without it. I did go to IIM Ahmedabad also for management. We weren't taught digital marketing, which is the in thing today. You know, there's so much happening on that front. So all I can say is that you will see so much change taking place over the years. You know, and we can even go ahead and say that nobody can predict what the world will be like 30 years from now. You know, the computers didn't exist when you were doing engineering. Your cell phones weren't there. It's changed life completely. And you people will be working 30 years from now. So here is, and what is the purpose of education? The purpose of education is to prepare you to face the world that you will face in future. So that's the funny part. Nobody knows what the future will be like, and we are educating you for that world. But this is where we come into what needs to be done. It is not just to education, not just to gather knowledge, but also develop people to deal with the world and develop in people an ability to think, imagine, innovate and create. So when Ashok developed the greenhouse for the Antarctica, you think it was taught to him ever? He had to think for it himself. Am I right?
Yeah.
You should be able to apply your learning and your future learnings. I'll say that. You'll be learning all your life in the situation that you will experience in the years ahead. And so succeed in life. And we've got generals here. We've been talking how even for the army, Technology is changing things completely. You can be obsolete if you don't keep up. Now let me come to the solutions. Multiple studies link music study to academic achievement. Serious music training seems to correlate with success in other fields. And this is where I was so happy to hear the point. You're bang on the nose. You heard the late Steve Jobs, whom the youth recognize because they use many Apple products. And I quote him, innovation would require a blend of technology and liberal arts. And education systems should encourage such pollination rather than focus on narrow specialization. The exposure, he himself credits much of his learning and success really to having learned accidentally calligraphy. He dropped out of college, but he dropped into calligraphy classes, which influenced him and came into the designing of his Apple products. He made such a success of that company. Innovation requires creativity. And this is where our heritage instills such creativity. And I am now referring to classical music, for instance, the rag. It is sung differently by different artists and by the same artist differently at different times. So what's this? There is a freedom within certain boundary constraints. So that addresses, we talked of some discipline. So boundary constraints are defined. And within that you're free to innovate and experiment, etc., etc. Arts brings elements of abstraction, critical thinking, which science subjects alone do not do. This again, it's amazing. We are hardcore engineers, but that abstraction. And then we discover from a concrete problem, a real life problem, to get to a real life solution, sometimes you have to go to the abstract domain. I've had the occasion, I used to look after research extras at one time. The issue is what is the product mix that we should make? There are constraints. And mathematics came in. Linear programming. I don't know, I'm using some words, I don't know how senior the boys are here. But it's mathematics, that's the abstraction that we can do. But it helps you in real life. And this ability to be thinking abstractly also is what must be encouraged in our students. So what is it that will help you cope with the world in future that I will describe? And this is where I say to my mind, it's our heritage that has been around for thousands of years. It is meditative, which also helps the youth to concentrate and improve in their studies. The innovative, which helps you to make in India for the world. Yoga, for instance, helps you to concentrate as you inhale and you exhale. I don't know how many of you have practiced that. In Nad Yoga, you concentrate on the note as you sing it. This is where I really admire your singing first. Bang on, they were like on. And some of us, as we learn, you're on the wrong note, and then you practice and practice and practice, and you get to the right note. And so is it with dancing. In this classical dancing, the posture has to be precise. The expressions. It comes through concentration. A musician requires enormous focus, attention, and practice. That's true. So if you take this ability to concentrate to your studies and whatever work you do, you will succeed. There's no question. I am reminded, let me talk in an instance. We had in 2010, we had a speaker being mentioned in IIT Kanpur. And as is the practice, when we reach the city, they come to receive us. And there was a student received us, he was taking us in the taxi to IIT. He told us he was a first year student. So the obvious question is, which attempt did you get into the IIT? 2010 is not too far away. He said, I got into the first attempt. In which coaching institute did you go? What is this that has enabled you to get it? You know, I never went to a coaching institute. And I got into IIT in my first attempt, and he held his hand. My school. He studied in a school in 24 Parganas in West Bengal. And he said in his school they had yoga in the morning, they had classical concerts in the evenings, and all this helped him to concentrate. Just as what he did envisaged. And then he could study below the chapter, photogenic memory or whatever, to absorb it all. And in no time he could do very well. And this is where the problems today that you are facing, of the present generations, is the ability to give prolonged attention to something. You know, something, be a chunk of time. Today's social media wrongly teaches us to be superficial in our attention. In 40 words, you're going to explain something. That doesn't help. You must give a chunk of time to anything of depth. Learning begins with questions. Why this, why that? I mean, you see a baby, they ask a question. Why? And sometimes the unanswered question is what keeps thinking all the time. In fact, today we hear the word artificial intelligence. This is what it is going to do. The skill will be not in asking questions, which I've been saying is the way to learn, but in how to pose a query so that you get the best possible answers from all the available data on the net. That's going to be the skill. Now I don't know how that's going to be. In organization, initially the problems and solutions are known. As you go up, you come across problems to which you don't know the answers, the solutions, but you can ask somebody and they give you the solution. As you go further up, and we have in our audience some of the people who visit to the left. At that level, you don't even know what the problem is, and you don't know what the answer is. That's the level of ambiguity you have to work with eventually. And it's not surprising that many eminent people were incidentally musicians. And I'll name a few. Our former president, Dr. Abdul Kalam, he was a missile scientist, but he played the veena. Dr. Ramana is famous for the first atomic implosion in India. He played the piano. The great mathematician Srinivasan Ramanujan, he had a classical music background. Einstein, who predicted gravity waves 100 years ago, which we are now verifying. Now that's abstraction. He predicted gravity waves 100 years ago. There's no way of verifying it experimentally. We've done it 100 years later. He played the violin. You'd be the violinist if he was not a physicist. There's Manjit Bhargava, professor of mathematics at Princeton. He's won the Fields Medal in mathematics, which is the equivalent of the Nobel Prize in mathematics. He said that there's something about classical music that made one more creative even in other endeavors. He believes including classical music in school curriculum, the country would produce not just better artists, but better scientists, judges, innovators, and in general better human beings. He himself is a tabla. And this is where our culture defines our identity. People who see our culture in the Western world, this is India. That's our identity. But we are ourselves forgetting. And there's a problem with the breakdown of joint families. the generational trickle down that used to happen is now missing. Parents are unable to take their children to Indian cultural performances. Again, problem of long office hours, academic pressures, whatever. And we've been going around the country and talking to students, how many have attended a classical program. And confidently we can say, my estimate, 98% of our youth just don't know. So, this is what our Skip OK organization therefore been trying to do. Now it's 46 years in the process. And it brings the best artists in the country. Because we are nobody to decide who's good, who's bad. The peers decide. So they are the ones who got a Padma Award, which is the Padma Vibhushan, the Padma Bhushan or the Padma Shri, or an SLA award. They come and perform for Skipper. And we take them to schools and colleges all over the country. Typically, in a year, 5,000 to 7,000 programs are happening somewhere or the other in a year. Typically, on a day when the academic session is on, 20 programs can be happening in a day somewhere or the other in the country. That's amazing. It's an amazing scale of operation. And we can now say the impact of Skip OK's efforts has been in keeping our arts alive. Today you can see the audiences are more knowledgeable. May not be as knowledgeable, but they appreciate the services. In fact, earlier when we used to go to concerts, you only saw grey-haired people. Today you see youngsters. And there is a spiritual and intellectual well-being of the children through these Skip OK activities. The government also has realized the importance. I think the Ministry of Culture gives grants every year. The Ministry of Youth Affairs gives grants every year. The Ministry of Education has asked the directors of all IITs, NITs, IIMs, ICERs, SPAs as School of Planning and Architecture, triple IT, Information Technology, to provide funding for Skip OK Heritage. In fact, the UGC has also written to all universities that they must have Skip OK Heritage clubs. So it's quite a scale of operation now that's happening. Today we have this new education policy 2020. Here again, it now recognizes the importance. And so arts is no longer extracurricular, it's curricular. And organizations and institutions are gearing up for that. We talked of leadership and following, etc., etc. I have seen when Skip OK organizes these conventions. I talked of the IIT Kanpur one. I was chairman of Skip OK for like 2015 to 2019, in which years we had conventions at 15 IIT Bombay, IIT Roorkee, IIT Guwahati, IIT Delhi. IIT Delhi where the Prime Minister Mr. Modi spoke about Skip OK. And IIT Kharagpur, my alma mater. And I saw, since I had a responsibility in that organization, it was the students who were organizing it. And it's a war room that is at work. Because over a week, the scale of operations is the top artists are coming every day. There are 1 or 2 concerts. About 1,500 students from all over the country are coming to this institute for the convention. And I remember how in NIT Suratkal when we had it there, a student had come from Assam to Karnataka. And that student's eyes were blown actually. I'm in Karnataka. Come all the way from Assam. You know, this is national integration. You see students from all over. You see art forms from all over the country. North, south, east, west, northeast. we perform there. The intensives that we have, in a typical, let me even run you through the daily schedule. The students are woken up at 3:30 to start yoga at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 to 7. There's a combination of yoga and yoga. 7 o'clock what we do is sort of giving back to our host institution by cleaning up. Because you clean up, remove all plastic waste, etc., etc., in the right place. Breakfast, and then 9 to 12 there are intensives. But again, to give you a scale of, there are 1,500 students, or 30 students do an intensive, so you need 50 different intensives. Variety of crafts, variety of music, variety of dance, such an assortment of things from all parts of the country. In 1 week you can get to see it all. That's the variety. And the diversity of this country is what is our strength. It's amazing. You get to see it, the students feel so proud that we belong to this country. This belongs to this heritage. And the volunteers are giving in a spirit of Nishkam Seva, in the spirit of giving their time and effort. You know, Professor Raiman Banerjee took over as director of IIT Delhi. And I read of what he said when he took charge. He once said that the focus of making the IIT curriculum more relevant. Curriculum review will aim multidisciplinary inputs. Again, taking inputs from what Steve Jobs had said. Then it was being influenced. And this is the kind of experience teamwork that he talked about. It's true. Because earlier, because of the industrial revolutions, the emphasis was on science and languages. Now, the emphasis on innovation and teamwork. You can't do anything alone. If I was to say, as chairman of Stick OK, I'm doing 5,000 programs a day, it's all rubbish. It's being done by so many people. No, but no one person can do it. It's impossible. So, the more good performers there are, the more audiences grow, and the richness of Western years is what is encouraged. Now, there are certain art forms that are dying. This is where we try and give encouragement. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. Dhurpad, Kudiyattam, Rudraveena, Sarangi, Gotuvadi, these are already understood as on the verge of extinction. And something needs to be done. And why? Because there's no way you can recreate. I mean, take the natural forest. You're so lucky to have forests around you. But if it is destroyed, can you recreate it? It will never. It will take forever to rebuild it. Well, I can run through the classical music, Carnatic, Hindustani, instrumental, vocal, we have so many classical dance, folk dance, heritage walks. Again, when we go to a place, there are historical sites around it, and you can take the students, let them see. Spiritual music, Sufi music, Qawwali, Gurbani, yoga, literature, theatre, classic films. We get directors to come and talk to the students about the classic films that they just seen. Painting, fine arts, textiles, weaving, embroidery, crafts. There's such an assortment in this country. Tribal painting, etc. There's so much. And as more knowledge expands, old facts are rendered invalid. It's true as more knowledge.
Okay, we have, let me ask you a question, especially the youngsters in the back. What is writing? Writing. What's it all about? what is writing? Anyone? Anyone? What is writing? How many of us write in English? How many of us write in Hindi? We write both languages. Some of us write in more languages. So what is writing? Anyone? Yeah? Anyone? All right. You take a pencil, take a pen, you put a few symbols down, yeah? And you create a word, right? Now that's how we started. Way back when I joined SEM in KG, the first thing that was issued to us was a slate, a black slate and some chalk. And all we could do was follow what the teacher had written. A, B, and C. These were symbols. We had no clue what this symbol was about. Absolutely no clue. And yet we followed, and we had to practice the script. You know how to write an A, how to write a B. Now how many of you know how to write an A and how to write a B? All of us know. Yeah, all of us know. How many of us actually write words? How many of us actually write letters? How many of us actually write compositions here? How many of us write compositions? Is it important to write a composition? It is. Why is writing a composition important? Why is writing a composition important? You know, nowadays you don't have to actually write. Most of us will sit down at the keyboard. The mechanical aspect of using a pen. In the good old days, Mr. Watling issued us nibs. You know what a nib is? And you put the nib on your tongue, like that. And they said the writing would improve. And you put the nib in the holder, and some of our old desks had inkwells. You dipped the nib in the inkwell, and you wrote. And you wrote a very neat script. I must say we had one young friend of ours, Masood Rehwani. Wonderful writing, wonderful script, but whether he did good composition, I don't know. Whether he did good composition, I don't know. He wrote very well. Nowadays, you guys have the freedom, you have the technology to be able to sit at a desktop, to sit at your laptop and start writing. Not only that, you're not bothered about grammar because Microsoft Word will take care of that. We have to know the grammar. So is writing important or not? Or with artificial intelligence take away writing as an art form, as a learning form? Will artificial intelligence do that? To some extent. To some extent, yes. And my question to you, all of you is, why is writing a very, very important skill to have? Let me give you a hint. We used to have jotters. My friends will know what a jotter is. What is a jotter? The rough pad that we used to use. And you were given homework. Guys are back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Say yes. Yeah, okay. We were given homework, and it was not necessarily that you could answer all the questions in the morning when the teacher asked you, well, what have you studied? But if on your jotter you showed that you had actually practiced the maths problem or you had written the answers, she was satisfied. Well, this guy had put in the effort. Writing was a learning skill. You actually wrote down things, to learn. What else does writing do? What else does writing do for you? Yeah? What else does writing do for you? Anyone? At the back? Hey, any seniors here? How many seniors? Yeah. Seniors, what else does writing do to you? Is writing important? What's your aim in life? Anyone? Aim in life? Yeah? He wants to do business. Okay, he'll be happy doing business. Someone says, I'll be happy once school is over. Anyone else? Yeah. Tell me.
My aim is to become IAS officer.
Become?
IAS officer.
All right, here's the gentleman who wants to become an IAS officer. Wonderful. Anyone else? Yeah. You want to? All right, someone who wants to be an engineer. Yes. You want to be a better man in life. Right? Wonderful. Anyone? Yes. Here's a person who wants to be a doctor. Another doctor. All right, we've got doctors, engineers. Navy. Okay. Software engineer. Wow, you're my line, yeah? Engineer. All right, so we all have our aim in life. He wants to be a businessman. Who? A judge. Wow. Here's the judge we have. Yeah. All right. So we all have our aim in life. All right. Another Air Force person. Yes. Air Force. Wow. Artificial intelligence, man, wow. A botanist. SP, wonderful. Okay. Make the best of what you're getting here. Make the best of what you're getting here. Someone wants to be a footballer, it's all there. Someone wants to be robotics, it's all there. Someone wants to be good at wants to be an engineer. I just saw the tunnel downstairs. You start off there. You know the tunnel? Yeah. And the ultimate aim is what? What is the ultimate aim? You become an engineer, you become a doctor, you become general Saab, you become brigadier Saab, you become me. But what's the ultimate aim in life? Ultimate aim in life is to be happy. And I can see many unhappy souls here. Yeah? Some of you are unhappy. You know why you are unhappy? Do you know why you are unhappy? Do you know why you are unhappy? Yeah? Why? Why are you unhappy? Ultimate aim is to be happy. But why are some of I saw a little boy crying a little while ago. Downstairs. His parents had gone home. He was unhappy. Why? You know what? I'll give you a simple equation. I'm an engineer, I love equations. Happiness is equal to desires entertained, the desires you have, divided by the desires you achieve. Desires entertained or the desires you have divided by the desires achieved equal to happiness. The more the desire, what happens? You don't achieve all of them. You are in trouble. Maximum unhappy. The little boy wants to go back home. He has the desire to go back home. He can't go home. Desire not achieved. Unhappy. Remember that equation. Believe me, rest of your life you can base on this one simple equation and you'll be happy. Believe me, you'll be happy. Thank you.
I hope you can hear me. It was very important what I'm going to say a little while later. First, let me start by thanking the principal, the headmistress on our behalf who made this pilgrimage to SEM with our life partners on the 60th year of their passing. So thank you everybody for giving us such a warm welcome here, the wonderful lunch, the wonderful warm welcome, the claps as we walked in. It really warmed our hearts. And the most important, boys at the back must be able to hear it. SEM boys make extraordinary husbands.
Thank you very much. And it's amazing how boys can't sit still for more than an hour. But today they sat for 2 hours. I think they deserve a clap. Yes. The boys they are well disciplined and they also love when the visitors come to the school. You know, they like to speak to their own students, they like to take them around, they are the good guides also. So thank you for taking trouble to come to our school, and I'm sure some of the small boys would not have understood what you have said. Senior boys would have understood, but they were very good. I was quite amazed, so thank you very much boys. And I request our headmistress and Brother Jerome give a small token of appreciation. This is from the wood of our school, the old. You saw the tunnel. Come, ma'am and brother. So, all the Semites, please, 8 of you, please come and be seated. Next person.
More than 100 years old wood from SEM.
Got it? Okay. Fine. Got it? So thank you very much. We'll stand for the school anthem, then we'll go for the tea.